This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, however you're taking us in. As always, we are grateful. It's Gill Alexander. It is Kelley Bydlon on Un Juego de Números. What's happening, man?
Nothing much. I won money betting the NFL this weekend. It feels good.
Oh.
It's a nice change.
Breaking.
Yeah, nice change. How about you?
I did great. This is why we do guessing lines, right? People, there's going to be some people like, why do we go through this process? We go through this process of guessing lines every Monday because oftentimes through the years, not often, most of the time, the first instincts are the best instincts, for me anyway, on these NFL lines, and it's an exercise that everybody can play along with as we do it. It's not just to hear, what are his guesses? What are your guesses on this stuff? And last week, I remember I lamented the fact, I was like, I like way too much. Everything hit. Now, what is that? That means that the power rankings were corroborated. That means that the instincts were corroborated. And then what happens inevitably is that we give the guesses on Monday, and then you have to endure Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up until you submit your contest and make your plays, whatever. And some of your bets are made earlier, but you have to endure all the incoming counter opinions,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So, for instance, I had the Commanders. Remember, my guess was 5.5 against the Browns. Oh, that's way too much of an overreaction. Even the 3 and the 3.5 is way too much of an overreaction. Everybody was on the Browns. All the too cool for school sharps were on the Browns, right?
I thought that game was very split.
And, but here's the thing. The people that have that opinion are going to act like they didn't have that opinion, right? It's going to get washed away. Same thing with the Packers taking on the Rams, right? That was supposed to be the trap spot. No, I just think the Packers are a better football team. It worked out, by the way. That might not have worked out. I'm not saying that wasn't Plinko at the end. The Texans and the Bills, that worked out. The Vikings and the Jets, that worked out. So I'm just saying, this is why we do this exercise, and so it was a good week. Now, that's not to say every week works out like this, right? Because I can just go back to weeks 2 and 3 of this year.
Right, yeah.
That didn't work out so well. But you'd like to think that that's just, okay, that's what happens in September when you're trying to get your bearings on this stuff. So anyway, the Saints hopefully tonight cover to get the 5-0 in millions, which is the beginning of a quarter, which is a good time to go 5-0 if you can.
Yeah.
Though it is a 5-week quarter and not a 4-week quarter, so there's that.
Yeah, that always brings down the vibes when you start off hot. Yeah,
it makes you not think about it at all. Basically.
Well, and you feel like you feel like you need 2 great weeks to start off with before you can even mildly get excited, right?
In a 4-week, you need 2.
Right.
In a 5-week, it's not even 2. Yeah. We always start with Survivor before we get into guessing lines for Week 6. We always start with Survivor. Kelley, there will never, and I am not being prisoner of the moment, there will never be another Survivor season like this. We are not even through 5 weeks of Survivor at Circa. By the way, I just said Survivor because apparently I wanted to say Circa too quickly. Circa Survivor, through 5 weeks, another 53.96% of the remaining entries heading into this past week are gone. So we have, out of 14,266 that started this, as of this moment, keep in mind, there's 16 on the Chiefs tonight.
Right.
As of this moment, out of those 14,266, 221 entries remain. That is all. 98.45% of entries toast heading into tonight in 5 weeks. I don't know if we know anybody who has an entry.
Just thinking. So I think I heard... from the network, Mitch Moss had one left, Mike Somich had one left.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I believe those two from the network were the only ones that had entries left, I believe.
Are they through?
I don't know about this week. I'm just thinking heading into this week. We knew Crack had his, right?
I think all of our guys, I think Crack, Cleve, PETA, unless they tell me differently, I'm a little worried that they all got knocked out. I don't know. I'm getting texts now, so maybe somebody's like, I'm still in. I feel it buzzing in my thigh. So the point though, 98.45, which means 1.55% of remaining entries, that's it, are still there. That's it. 1.55% of the total number of entries are still alive. So if you got knocked out in week 3, like you and I did, were we early, quote unquote, this year, and the week 5ers are late? Like it's just so
Right.
it's just so ridiculous. Seahawks, the biggest culprit, 160. By the way, I would have been out a second time. So now I've graduated to I can't even be upset about it anymore. And then the 49ers, again, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, 86 on them. That's it, man. This is incredible.
I used Seahawks week 1 in one entry, so like that wouldn't have been an option for me. But I don't even know who I would have gone with this week. Luckily, I didn't even have to think about it.
Seahawks would have absolutely been mine. Intrinsic value of each of the remaining 221 entries heading into tonight is $64,000.
Oh my God!
$552.04. Let me say that again: $64,552.04 American pennies.
What is the what's the website again? Survivor Sweat.
Survivor Sweat. Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah. To buy 2%, please buy 2%. Clear my contest, and I'll ride the rest of this way.
And I really do wonder if the good folks at Circa, if Derek Stevens and the folks who are all the ones who not only came up with the contest but managed this contest, I wonder if they have the conversations, and I bet they do, where they're like, this is kind of too early for everybody to be knocked out. They must be a little worried that there is going to be a group of people. I think it's going to still grow, but there's got to be a group that's like, I'm not entering this again. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so like my only concern actually, who was I having this conversation with? I think it was Wes and Matt actually before we recorded a Long Shots episode. I don't think the interest goes away from people losing. I think it's from the lack of discussion that will be about it later in the season. You're just not going to think about like out of sight, out of mind situation.
That
right?
is a great point.
And then you wonder about the like the second chance survivor pools we've seen like rest of places. But we think that's a game. I think it's a gaming issue out here in Nevada. Yeah, I'm not sure though.
Nor would it interest me, right? And I think it wouldn't interest most. Let's do it. Let's get a game in if we can. If we could squeeze one in for week 6 in the National Football League guessing lines. Do we have it open?
Yes, we do.
All right.
How close will Gill be to the actual spreads? Creepy Kelley voiceover.
I didn't hear what you said.
And how close will Gill be to the actual spreads?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Thursday night, it's a fun one. Steve Fezzik bet it already. Has Gill. 49ers at Seahawks.
49ers at Seahawks. What'd you say about me in there? What'd you say?
I said has Gill.
Has Gill? No, I have not. I don't. 49ers at Seahawks. 49ers, again, snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Kyler Murray, as the Cardinals are wont to do, scoring first. Murray to McBride for 22. Then Kyler for 50. By the way, thanks to the person who tweeted me this, Next Gen Stats says that Kyler was running over 22 miles per hour on this run, which is the fastest any quarterback has run to the house in the last 8 years. Oh, by way of comparison, Steve Austin, the $6 million man, was north of $60 million, but he had bionics going for him.
See, not a fair comparison. Did I catch the stat that they have scored on every opening drive so far?
I think that's true.
Yeah, I don't really know what falls off after that, but they're doing that well.
Bionics, by the way. San Francisco then comes back. Purdy to Ayuk for 53. They have to settle for a field goal. 7-3 Arizona, but then Arizona 3 and out. San Francisco, long drive. Purdy to Kittle from 4 out. 10-7 Niners. Ryland would add a field goal because Prater's hurt for Arizona to tie it at 10. But then a Moody field goal and a Moody field goal put the Niners up 13-10. Ryland then got a blocked field goal by Jordan Elliott, which Diamador Lenoir ran back to the house for 61 yards. 20-10 San Francisco. It was 23-10 San Francisco at the half. After Murray was picked by Nick Bosa, setting up a Wisnowski field goal because earlier Jake Moody, when it was 20-10, Jake Moody got hurt. His kicking foot got hurt trying to make a tackle on the ensuing kick. So now the Niners, up 23-10, get a field goal from Wisnowski, but a chip shot, 25-yarder that Juszczyk was the holder for. So 23-10, and then that was it for the Niners. That was it because third quarter, Niners were first and 10 their own 24. Picked Purdy was by Mack Wilson Sr. They had to settle for the field goal. Arizona did 23-13. Then the Niners stalled on 4th and 23 at the Arizona 27 because they have no kicker. So they turned it over on downs because that was a little too far for them to try. Arizona long drive, Kyler to Elijah Higgins from 2 out, and because of the roughing the passer penalty, they took the 2-point conversion from the 1, scored that 23-21 San Francisco with 11:25 left. Then San Francisco matriculated again, first and goal at the Arizona 8, and Jordan Mason fumbled, swatted away by Jesse Luketa, recovered by Mack Wilson Sr. Remember now, San Francisco has no kicker. So if Arizona is able to get a field goal, what are they going to do? And Arizona did just that. 35-yard field goal from Ryland, 24-23 Arizona with 1:37 left. San Francisco starts at their own 27 with 1:32 to go. Second play, Purdy hit as he throws by Jalen Thompson. Ball goes high in the air, picked by Kazir White. Ball game. That's it. 86 survivors out. How about that? Amazing. And then there's Seattle.
I didn't even catch the first kick. Kyle Juszczyk, what doesn't he do? He's amazing.
He does it all. We can't get in the Seattle Giants game, but all I can say is this. When it first started, Jones was sacked and he fumbled the first play, but Andrew Thomas recovered it. Then they converted to 3rd and 17 2 plays later, and they got all the way downfield. They got to 4th and goal at the doorstep. Eric Gray, tackled by Jerome Baker. He fumbles, and Rayshawn Jenkins returned it 101 yards to the house. Isn't it interesting that the only replay they had was from the back of the end zone? Because it looked like he had scored. If you had the goal line angle on this. Anyway, if you were a Seattle Survivor player, you were like, oh, that's the reprieve we needed. Instead, you lose. You just lose. Ultimately, you lose because, well, Seattle started at their own 5 with 5:53 to go. Geno to Jackson Smith and Najigba from 5 out to cut it to 23-20. And then you took over with the ball at the down 3 at your own 34. And ultimately, Jason Myers' 47-yard field goal was blocked and returned to the house. Ball game, 29-20. That's it. I'll say Niners by 3.5 on the road.
3 pretty much everywhere right now.
Wow, just 3. Coming back, more guesses next.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Coming up Monday on Follow the Money, playoff baseball, baby. We also recap a wild weekend, college, NFL, and Chiefs and Saints Monday Night Football. Follow the Money weekdays 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to see who at VSiN is on a hot streak? Go to VSiN.com/picks to see all the selections and weekly leaderboard of VSiN hosts, writers, and guests. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber and get every pick sent to your inbox daily. Just head to VSiN.com/pro.
VSiN is thrilled to introduce a new VSiN.com tailor-made to the evolved needs of today's sports bettors. Our upgraded navigation streamlines your journey, allowing you to swiftly access articles, videos, and podcasts. Whether you're tuning in live or catching up on your favorite shows, everything is just a click away. VSiN.com guarantees a fluid and responsive experience across all devices, ensuring you stay connected wherever you are. We have enhanced tools such as our betting splits and expert picks, and introduce innovative features like parlay and odds calculators, all designed to make you a sharper bettor. Our How to Bet section is perfect for beginners, covering the fundamentals, while seasoned bettors can delve into our advanced betting strategies for the competitive edge you've been looking for. Sign up for free on VSiN.com or become a VSiN Pro subscriber, where you can unlock unlimited access to every tool, expert picks, and insight that make VSiN the sports betting network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game has a special offer. Today is the final day. You could score 40% off our football season special when you use promo code ANG. Sign up now. Get full VSiN Pro access to everything we do from now through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets with a leaderboard showcasing the top pros and their impressive ROI. 19 hours of live programming, proven betting systems, exclusive betting splits. They're all there. Save 40% off the football season special this week only when you sign up and use promo code ANG.
ANG like A numbers game.
Offer expires today. Don't wait. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. I want to bring up one, first of all, the line. It's only 3 on the Niners. It's not 3 and a hook, huh?
Nope, has not moved.
Interesting.
Nope. 3, there's some juiced 3s out there, but...
I kind of dig it. And look, I know the Niners have... I certainly have to take them down from the lofty perch that I have them on, but I don't think they're bad. I just think that's interesting that they collapsed in 2 of these games already now. I want to say one other thing about that Seattle game, because I know we rushed through that, and that was, by the way, that was the biggest, again, survivor culprit, 160 of the remaining 480. Exactly a third of the remaining went down with Seattle. Giants did something at the end of that game. We're always crushing coaches, but I want to shout out Brian Daboll and the Giants. They got it to 29-20 on that blocked field goal by Isaiah Simmons, which was returned by Bryce Ford Wheaton 60 yards to the house, made it 29-20. The Giants took a knee on the ensuing point after. And the point of that was, don't risk a extra point that could be blocked and returned for 2 points, which would make it a 7-point game, nor do you want to risk a fumble. Same thing happening. So taking a knee, just these little details that certain coaches get and others don't.
Yeah, good call. I didn't catch that in the moment. I saw it I saw it later on in the evening.
So shout out to Daboll. Let's go to
and that was the also with the tricky with the blocked kick, right, where he had to split the long snapper and the guard next to him, so he's not over the top of the long snapper.
Also, he can't touch a Seahawk when he's doing that as well?
This is right. I was hoping you were going to ask me this question. I thought you could still leap over the snapper as long as you didn't touch him.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but the breakdown I heard this morning was because he split the long snapper and the guy next to him.
We need a clarification on that. Either way, it was not flagged.
I don't know if he made contact or not. No flag. So
yeah. All right, let's go to Sunday. I kind of like that on San Francisco. Kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sunday, we're back in London, the home of the Jaguars. They will face the Bears there.
The home of the Jaguars, who get to chill in London all week.
Yeah, for 2 weeks, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. They get to chill this week coming up, and then for 2 in a row. Jacksonville at Chicago, technically, but in London. Jacksonville beats Indianapolis, gets off the schneid, their first win of the season. They were the last winless. Indianapolis opening drive, I just got to point this out, Kelly. Josh Downs flagged for illegal demonstration. Again, mimicking the gun. Now, we want to give the proper people credit for this.
I do, and I don't know who it is still.
But we have talked about how ridiculous this is now in the NFL. By the way, Josh Downs did very little. He barely made a motion.
Yes.
And the NFL is really cracking down on this. And they're flagging all demonstrations like this. But they pointed out, and we'll give them credit.
Any demonstration that, they think might be symbolizing a gun of some
mimics
sort, right?
any kind of gunfire.
Which I don't necessarily disagree with.
I don't necessarily disagree with, but these guys, we'll give them credit. But we saw something, someone was brilliant doing this because they were pointing out the hypocrisy of, they shoot off a cannon in Tampa. They shoot off a cannon in Tampa when someone scores. And in New England... they actually do a whole gunpowder into the musket and then firing squad thing.
Right, yeah.
Actual colonial, dressed like colonial folks. So they were joking. What an NFL player should do is they should, after they make a first down catch, they should mimic, it should take forever, right? Loading your musket. Loading your musket with gunfire and then see what they do. See if they flag it and be like, look at those guys right up there. Anyway.
I had never thought about that before. It was a great call out by those guys. I understand what the NFL's trying to do, but it's a little tough when there's 8 guys dressed up like Revolutionary War heroes back there firing muskets.
So dumb. All right, well, Indianapolis was able to overcome that flag. Flacco Pittman Jr., 7-0 Indianapolis, early first quarter. Jacksonville then had a 4th and 2 at the Indianapolis 26. They're allergic to field goals. Lawrence incomplete, intended for Thomas Jr. Jacksonville would get it back from their own 11. They'd get it to 4th and 1 at their own 42. Then Lawrence snuck. Lawrence with a sneak. They got smart there for a first. Then they got it to 4th and 2 at the Indianapolis 5. And then they decided, we'll get the field goal. So they're down 7-3. Cam Little hits it from 23 yards out. We're still now in the second quarter. Jacksonville, next time they got the ball, one play. Lawrence Thomas Jr. for 85 touchdown. Jaguars take the lead 10-7 with 7:02 left in the second quarter. It was 13-10 Jacksonville at the half. And in the third quarter, Jacksonville 2nd and 7 at the Indianapolis 41. Lawrence picked deep by Nick Cross. Indianapolis couldn't do anything with it, but on the ensuing punt, Devin Duvernay returned Rigoberto Sanchez's punt 53 yards. First play, Bigsby in from 19, and the Jaguars had themselves a 10-point lead halfway through the third quarter, a little more than halfway through. But here's where Joe Flacco flaccoed. Indianapolis, 15-play, 70-yard drive. Flacco to Mo Alley Cox on 3rd and 15 from the 18. Touchdown, 20-17. Jacksonville, after a face mask, 2nd and 24 from their own 16. Lawrence to Kirk for 61. That led to Lawrence to Brenton Strange, a 4-yard touchdown pass 5 plays later, 27-17 Jacksonville. It would get to 27-20, and then Jacksonville up 7, second play, Bigsby in from 65, and Jacksonville is coasting. 14-point lead with 5:09 left. It's over, right? Wrong, because Joe Flacco came with a cape. Flacco to Pierce for 24, then 45 to Pierce. Next play, Trace Sermon in from 1, 34-27. By the way, Alec Pierce, what a ball game. 3 catches, all were spectacular. That cut into 34-27. Jacksonville, by the way, interesting talking about coaches and their decision-making. Usually when you go from 14-8, coaches go for 2 at that point. Not Indianapolis, not Shane Steichen. He just kicked the extra point, 14-7. Not 14-7, pardon me, 34-27. Indianapolis got the ball back after a Jacksonville 3-and-out. They took over at their own 35 with 3:25 to go. Sermon for 17, followed by Flacco to Pierce for 65. 34 all with 2:40 left. It's like, could Joe Flacco, who should be the quarterback in Cleveland, by the way, is he going to pull this off? No. Jacksonville got it in field goal range. Cam Little, 49-yard field goal. Jacksonville wins 37-34. They get off the schneid. I have learned nothing about either team.
Oh, not
I have no idea what's going on. And who's Jacksonville playing in London? Chicago. The Bears beat the Panthers. Not much to talk about here other than the first half where Carolina, they had a 4th and 1 at the Chicago 42 early. Deontay for 4. Next play, Chuba Hubbard in from 38. Carolina led 7-0. That was the high point of the game for them because then it was Chicago 7-play, 70-yard drive. Caleb to DJ Moore for 34 to tie it. Then after a Carolina punt, Chicago 13 plays, 80 yards. Roshan in from 1, 14-7. Then later, Carolina, 3rd play, ensuing drive. Dalton to Tremble. Actually, a couple drives later. Dalton to Tremble, hit by Jaquan Brisker. He fumbles, recovered by Jervon Dexter Sr. Chicago set up at the Carolina 44 with 2:49 left. Caleb to Swift for 42. Then 2 plays later, Swift in from 121-7 Chicago. Then after a Carolina punt, Chicago from their own 37 with 55 seconds left. 3 plays into Kmet for 25. 2 plays later to Moore for 30. It was 27-7 at the half. That's really all you need to know. One other thing, just one last thing. When it was 30-7 Chicago, more than halfway through the third quarter, Carolina down 23 points, had a 4th and goal at the Chicago 9, and they trotted out Pinheiro for a 27-yard field goal to cut it to 30-10. Because, Kelly, when you get a chance to cut a 3-score lead into a 3-score deficit into a 3-score deficit, you absolutely take that opportunity. Anyway, Carolina ends up winning at 36-10. So Jacksonville at, in quotes, Chicago in London. That sounds like a real barn burner that no one wants to get up for. But I'll say Chicago minus 2.5.
Yeah, you're all over it. 2.5 or 2s out there right now. I do see 1.5. But yeah, pretty much in that range. I don't know about you. Not a lot to take away from either one of these teams. I have a feeling the Bears are going to be one of these teams that I think we talked a lot about the bullies last year. I think they're going to be able to take, with that defense, going to be able to take advantage of some of these bad teams. But man, I think when they go up against quality competition, which I'm not saying Jacksonville is, but I don't think Jacksonville's as bad as their record says right now either.
If Chicago won this by 20, or Jacksonville won it by 20, all right, maybe I'm exaggerating 20, but let's say 2 scores. Would you be surprised either way?
No,
I wouldn't either.
No,
I can already tell you right now.
I guess I'd be a little surprised if Chicago won by that big a margin, but.
My point being that if yes. on the Megapod, one of our last 2 questions is always, what is the game you want no part of? In other words, if you had to bet a side in every game, except one you got a free pass on, I can't imagine there'll be one I like more for the answer to that question than this one.
Yeah, Jets-Vikings was worth waking up for. I don't know about this one next week.
Yeah, and that by the way, and that game was was a really like sort of bad football game.
Oh, it was, yes.
Yeah.
It was. By the way, I posted this on Twitter earlier. Did you make it through the full marathon yesterday?
I did.
Start to absolute finish.
I got in from San Francisco after midnight Sunday morning.
Wow.
They kept us on the tarmac for 25 minutes because the gate we're supposed to go to, they had to tow away another plane.
Oh my God, this happened to me.
So I didn't get in until after 1, and then woke up for football. Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, man.
I didn't make it all the way through.
I can sleep. I can sleep today before baseball starts, baby. We'll get to baseball later too, but we got to get some more lines for Week 6 of the National Football League. Trying to extract value. That's the point here on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
They're off.
VSiN's got you covered for the start of the season with our football special. For $175, you'll get access to everything VSiN has to offer. With VSiN Pro, you'll receive daily picks straight to your inbox, detailed analysis on every game, and exclusive data like our betting splits to help you become a sharper bettor. Get all of this for just $175 through the Super Bowl. Or try a monthly subscription and get your first 30 days for only $9.99. Don't miss out on this offer. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Are you the type of player who's looking to get down $10,000 or more on an NFL line at the best price in the market? Or perhaps you're looking to get your in-game play instantly accepted? Introducing Sport Trade, the app that's going to change sports betting forever. Minus 104 lines instead of the typical minus 110. Instant in-game betting and a concierge player service. Sport Trade, perfect for those who want a premium betting experience. Live already in New Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, and Arizona, and coming to Virginia. Download Sport Trade. Use code VSiN to earn 10% cash back on each wager in your first week. Terms apply. You got to be 21 years or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. It's Gill Alexander. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate the feedback. This is from Real Nix. Hey, Gill and Kelley, I made it bell to bell yesterday. I'm 55 years old, divorced, live in a one-bedroom apartment, and had 2 pizzas in my fridge. What the hell else do I have to do?
Good on you, man.
By the way, he says, I won a whopping $29 yesterday. I guess that's better than losing $29. Yes, it is.
And it is.
Bob C-137. Sounds like a statute. On TNF, on Thursday Night Football, Vita Vea got a sack and army crawled, then mimicked a sniper rifle shot.
I saw that, yep.
He says, I don't care, to be clear, but I was surprised that it wasn't flagged since possible T-shirt cannon touchdown celebrations are flagged. Hoops by Hoots. In the Minnesota-USC game Saturday, there was a sack. I saw this. And one of the Minnesota players mimicked putting his sword back in his holster, and the referee threw a flag and sternly announced a penalty for, quote, simulating brandishing a weapon.
Oh, so swords count too. I didn't see that one. Okay, so swords are part of the list.
And Brian M. wants to correct me. He says the Patriots need to score themselves for the Patriots militia to fire the muskets. I don't think that disproves the point. But yes,
he might be just joking here about the Patriots never scoring, but yeah.
Jason Q points out, breaking news, Ryan Williams becomes the youngest player ever to take an L versus Vandy. It's very true. Wow, was that unbelievable. Brian M., thank you, Brian M., also, though, for this, because we asked out loud, can someone sort of clarify what the rule is, and he is quote tweeting the actual rule. The NFL says the Giants' field goal block was legal. In regards to long snapper contact, explanation is, and I did not know this, I would not have come up with this, he said, pushing down alone is not a foul, and there was no forcible contact to the head and neck. See, I didn't know that.
Okay, so what? So I can push down a guy as long as I don't push him down by the head or neck?
Apparently you can contact him, but not with a forcible push.
Wait, what if can I push him down, not by the head or neck, or with a forcible push? Can I push him down and allow my teammate Gill Alexander to then leap him?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I thought you couldn't touch the guy, which I already thought was
I thought you couldn't touch him, but apparently you can.
Which I already thought was a silly rule, because wasn't that it was at least the rule for a couple years, right? Because you kept trying to see these guys leap the long snapper, and they'd graze their toe on him.
All right, now Brian's confusing us further, because he says there was no foul because he started on the line of scrimmage. So apparently you can't run either.
Oh, you can't get the running start. Yeah, that's a part of it,
Okay, but we're talking about 3 different things now. So I'm still confused.
Yeah, the rule's ridiculous.
And then Brian Schaefer, and I, listen, this is the whole point of this. What have we learned so far? He says, so 3 things for him. Niners are not really that good, got really old quick. I'm going to disagree with that, but I hear what you're saying. 2, Commanders might be really good. We're going to find out this week, Brian, because they haven't played anybody yet. They've done great with everybody they've had to face, but now it's the Ravens. Let's find out about them. And then 3, I don't know who will win the Super Bowl. It's anyone's year besides the Titans, Panthers, and Jags. Yeah, it's probably
true. I think there's a lot of good teams in the NFL right now. Yeah. I don't know how many great teams there are, though. I think that is a fair statement overall.
I'm going to read a whole bunch more, but let's get back to the games themselves. What do you got?
All right, early window, Cardinals at Packers.
Cardinals, we talked about, come from behind, win against the kickerless Niners, which really did matter in the end. Kyler, 19 of 30 for 195 in defeat. He had that 1 touchdown, 7 carries for 83, and that touch on the ground. Cardinals, pardon me, +2 in turnovers in that game. They're at Green Bay. Man, I love Green Bay. Green Bay is good at football. They took over at their own 4 after the teams traded punts early. They got to 2nd and 10 at their own 45. Love to Jaden Reed for 53 in between 3 defenders. Did you see that pass?
Oh, yeah.
Could not believe that got home. Jacobson from 2 when he reversed field, 7-0 Green Bay. A little later, Rams set up at their own 45, 13-play drive. They convert a 4th and 1 at the Green Bay 34 along the way. Kyron in from 1. It was tied at 7. A little later in the half, Green Bay 3rd and 12 at their own 8. Love, trying to avoid a safety, just throws it up for grabs. Horrible pick. A 4-yard pick six for the Rams by Jaden McCullough. 13-7 Rams. They missed the extra point. Did Joshua Carty. It would be 13-10 Rams at the half. Then the second half happened, and it was heck of a ball game. Rams, 2nd and 6 at the Green Bay 27. Kyron hit by Lucas Van Ness. Fumble. Xavier McKinney recovers it. Xavier McKinney, ball hawk. 2 plays in. Love to Tucker Kraft for 66. A lot of yak on that one. Touchdown. 17-13 Green Bay. 11-10 left in the third. Then Stafford got picked by McKinney because McKinney picks off everything. Returns at 28 yards. Green Bay set up at their own 46. 7-play drive. Love to Kraft from 7. Out. 24-13 Green Bay. Late third quarter. And we go to the fourth. It's 24-13. The Rams start at their own 9 with 6:02 to go. So they're pinned deep in their own territory, down 2 scores. No problem for Matthew Stafford. 11 plays, 91 yards. Stafford to Demarcus Robinson from 1 out. 2-point try fails. 24-19 Green Bay, a 2-point try that was significant to some, Kelly, if you know what I mean. 3:30 to go, including myself. Then Green Bay had a punt it. The Rams get it back. They're down 5, start at their own 29 with 2:57 to go. 4th and 1 at the Green Bay 46. Kyron for 3 on a second effort to the Green Bay 43. But a sack on second down set the Rams back. They get it to 4th and 5 at the Green Bay 38. Stafford under pressure, incomplete, intended for Colby Parkinson. Ball game. Packers win, Packers cover. For those of us who back the pack. Jordan Love, 15 of 26 for 224. That one awful pick, though, was the one blemish. I will say Green Bay minus 4.5 at home against the Cardinals.
Anywhere between, we're in the dead area right now, anywhere between 4.5 and 5.5 out there. Don't know about you. I still kind of like this Packers side, but man, that Cardinals team's feisty. You just don't know what you're going to get from that offense, and that offense can be good at times, and look real good at times.
Keep in mind they beat the Niners yesterday. They're good at times, and the Skins crushed them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I stray, but I'm saying
I understand what you're saying. I just think they're going to continue to be one of those tough teams to figure out this year, just because the defense is so bad, and at times the offense can look so good. So it's probably going to be a pass for me, but I lean that way.
What's so funny is I loved so many games last week. I don't love nearly as many already. I mean, we have plenty to get to, but I don't love much so far. Niners kind of on the road at Seattle.
I fired on 5 bets already.
Okay, let's see.
Week.
What's next?
There's something else I was going to ask you about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, the Packers. I had a good day yesterday. The Packers added to the list, though, of we talk about it all the time, but we don't recognize the luck factor as often as we should. Oh, boy, everything, like a lot of things fell right for me yesterday. Yeah.
All Plinko. I got the bounces in the Green Bay game. I got the bounces in the Houston game.
Houston for me, too.
And absolutely that's the case. The difference between being 4-0 and 1-3 heading into the night is often that.
I had a 4-1 millions week in both entries. It could easily be 2-3.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, let's keep rolling here. Colts at Titans.
All right, Colts we talked about. Flacco was unbelievable. Yeah. 33 of 44 for 359. Alex Pierce, 3 unbelievable catches for 134 and a touchdown. And then there's Tennessee. Tennessee's going to have the extra rest here. I split the difference between the pick 'em and the 3. I said Tennessee minus 1.5. Talk about 2 teams you have no idea what you're getting.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm trying to see if there was movement. No, not really. We are Indy 1.5.
Indy 1.5. Okay. So I just have the wrong favorite.
Yeah, wrong favorite. But we're talking a point.
Still same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe this did jump at DraftKings earlier. That's what I was going to check on. You were aligned earlier, but we're over to Colts 1.5 now. All right.
Doesn't make me race to the window or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I'm staying far away from that. Want to sneak in when we're here?
Yeah. What do you got?
Texans at Patriots.
Pass. Let's do another one. Too much to talk about.
Bucks and Saints.
Okay, Bucks and Saints, because Bucks are on. Bucks are going to be on extra rest. What am I forgetting? Yeah, they play Thursday night. Extra rest for the Bucks. By the way, I said extra rest for the Titans. I didn't mean that, did I? When did the Titans play again? It's all.
No, Titans. Yeah, Titans are on a bye.
Titans are on a bye. That's correct. Okay, so the Buccaneers playing on Thursday, so they'll have extra rest at New Orleans, who will have short rest because they play tonight as 5.5-point dogs against the Chiefs. Mayfield on Thursday against the Falcons. That Bucks loss, unbelievably, to the Falcons was 19 of 24 for 180. The Bucks gave up 550 total yards to the Falcons, Saints unseen tonight. I just made it 3 because I didn't know what else to make.
2.5.
Probably because of the rest situation.
Yeah, Saints 2.5, although it's mainly all juiced 2.5s up there. 2.5 minus 120, minus 115 is what I'm looking at. Good game. Look, this NFC South is, I think, going to be competitive with these 3 teams down the rest of the way. Do you feel like you see that big a separation between any of them?
Carolina's still at the bottom, I think.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, but the 3 other teams I'm talking: Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah, good game. Not rushing to bet it.
I mean, New Orleans ought to be the best, I guess I should say. But even when I say that, I'm like, no, maybe that's not right. Maybe the Falcons ought to be the best. And Tampa Bay's is always there. So, yeah. Not exactly a fascinating division either. We'll get to that Houston-New England game and more. Trying to extract value, guessing lines for Week 6, right here on the Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, a sports oasis awaits. Stadium Swim, the ultimate outdoor amphitheater, built for the ultimate sports fan, with a colossal screen that brings the game closer than ever. Reserve a daybed, private cabana, or lounge in the center of it all. 6 pools to dive into as the game heats up. And the best part, there's never an off-season. Open 365 days a year. Stadium Swim, it's always spectator season.
Looking for the ultimate sports betting podcasts? VSiN has got you covered. With a wide range of podcasts covering every major sport, we're here to help you make smarter bets every season. The Baseball Betting Show with Greg Peterson gives you daily insights into finding value on each day's MLB card. And check out Long Shots, where we deep dive into the world of golf betting, providing you with expert insights to help you bet every tournament. Find all of these podcasts and more at VSiN.com/podcasts or your favorite podcast platform.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the Numbers Game live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gill Alexander, Kelley Bydlon. Guessing lines for Week 6 in the National Football League. Trying to look for value. So far, I think I like the Niners the best. Before we get to more games, we get tweets at Beating the Book. Steve Cohen at TheSteveCohen21. Not that Steve Cohen. Or that Steve Cohen.
Or that Steve Cohen.
Gil, last week you were worried you liked so many favorites. Vikings, Commanders, Packers. It worked out this week in a big way. Big question, are you and Kelley going to Lenny Kravitz next week? Oh, Lenny Kravitz is in town, Kelley.
Where's Lenny at?
I don't know, but he's in town. I saw it on the screen as I was driving on the strip. Don't we kind of have to go to assess his place in the American?
No, not at all. Because this is what everybody's didn't we crack the code already? Everybody that's going to that concert is going to be so excited to go see Lenny Kravitz, and then they're going to sit there for 2 hours and realize that they only know 3 songs.
Steve, there's your answer. We're not going. Las Vegas 514. Yo, Gil, I need you to make a call to NBC and have them flex the Battle of the Beltway game in. Who the hell wants to see Bengals Giants? For the love of football. Sheesh. He's right. Whenever you get a sheesh, you know someone's serious.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I dropped that on Twitter a lot.
Bobby Knuckles. I don't know if your teammate Gill, Kelley, is making that jump over the long snapper with those Achilles. You ain't kidding.
Wait, have you hurt your Achilles before?
Oh, yeah. That hasn't come up. Well, let me tell you all about it. Joe C714. Hey, I locked in Chicago earlier in the week as my survivor play because I didn't want to mess with a divisional game in Denver. Then I put in Seattle last minute because they surely won't lose to the visiting Giants without Singletary or Neighbors, right?
Ugh.
This sucks. There's nothing worse. Especially now at this point. Because I don't know if it's Circus Survivor he was in, but goodness. Mike Stack says, on last night's show, Mike Somich said that he had the Niners for Survivor. Felt bad to lose like that, and you have no kicker who left hurt.
Brutal.
Matt Trudell, thanks for the tennis picks. Goffin got it done. So did Shevchenko, hitting a bunch of dogs here. A&G, one of my favorite ways to spend the morning. Kelley, and you do a great job. Thank you so much. Michael Lafon talking about our adjusted season win totals segment last week says, Gil, I know one of your favorite in-season win totals is Jacksonville under, but Doug Peterson was the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs in 2015 when they started 1-5 and won the next 10. He knows how to get out of this mess. I think Jacksonville will come back. You might be right.
Kelley interprets the tweets. Jags fan Michael, not giving up yet, Gil. There's hope. Don't talk trash about this team, okay?
Oh man!
If we're pulling for Doug Peterson OC stats from 2015, we're really trying to dig for something here.
I'll tell you what was great though. Pittsburgh losing was great for all my Pittsburgh calls. I think I don't think they're getting there. Sorry, Mike Tomlin. We'll get to all that. What's next?
All right, Texans at Patriots.
Texans at Patriots. Texans beat the Bills. Let's see here. 3-0 Buffalo. Houston, 6-play, 70-yard drive. Cam Akers in from 15, 7-3. Buffalo 3 and out. 1 play. Stroud to Nico Collins for 67. Tutty, 14-3 Houston. But Nico Collins would subsequently go to the tent, then to the locker room, and would not return with a hammy.
I am so angry about this. He's been so fun to watch this year.
When he scored, my buddy, Michael Montesano, Circa Booby Prize winner first year. He has Nico Collins, Offensive Player of the Year, at north of 100-1. And as soon as that happened, he's like, oh my God. Bang, hamstring. Nothing lasts for anybody to just have moments of happiness in the National Football League. Anyway, 17-3 Houston at the half.
And what, same hamstring he had hurt earlier in the season?
I think so. Stats at the half, 248-103. Advantage Houston. Josh Allen at this point was 6 of 18 for 56. 1 carry for 10 yards. Stroud, 13 of 16 for 205. He's pretty good. Can we cash those tickets yet? Those ones where he was number 1 pick in the draft? No? Okay, 20-3 Houston. Buffalo then wakes up 6 plays, 70 yards. Allen to Kincaid for 26. Sets up Cook in from 5, 20-10. Then a Houston 3 and out. Buffalo 5 plays in. 4th and 5 at the Houston 49. Allen to Keon Coleman, who played exhibition football at FSU last year for 49. Mostly yak. Somehow tiptoes the sideline. 20-17. We got ourselves a ball game.
Maybe some angles of him going out, but whatever.
The heel. I don't know if the heel touched it or not. Maybe not. Buffalo 5 plays in now. Oh no, that was that one. Now it's 20-17. Houston another 3 and out. Buffalo a punt. Houston from their own 12. This time they do matriculate, but 2nd and 7 at the Buffalo 33. Stroud, bad pass picked by Terrell Bernard. 8:06 left in this ball game. Buffalo with the ball down 3. Buffalo did have to punt. Allen slow to get up after his helmet hit the turf hard on a tackle. But with NFL protocol, apparently if you're Josh Allen or anyone, big time, you only have to sit out one play. That's apparently the rule. So ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Houston up 3, 2nd and 10 at their own 14, 4:29 left. Stroud sacked by Dwayne Smoot. Fumbles. Dorian Williams. Buffalo picks it up. Set up at the Houston 15. Down 3 with 4:21 left. Allen only out one play. Trubisky came in for one play. He's back in. Can't advance the ball. Bass, 33-yard field goal. We're tied at 20 with 3:18 left. All right. Houston, again, gets it into Buffalo territory. But with Buffalo out of timeouts, Houston elects to pass the football. With 44 seconds left at the Buffalo 39, an intentional grounding is called on Stroud. And that takes Houston out of field goal range.
Brutal.
Instead of just running the football, they try to pass it. Intentional grounding. Stroud couldn't understand it. But it was one of those things where he threw it in a spot and his receiver went. He wasn't really intentional grounding it, but it looks like intentional grounding, and they always call this now. So,
always?
Not always, but a lot.
Okay.
You're right. Nothing is always, Kelly. There's no 100% in this game.
This rule irritates me because of situations like that.
So they punt it. Buffalo is pinned. Remember, we're tied now. Buffalo is pinned at their own 3 with 32 seconds left, 20-20. This sequence had Scott Hansen going ballistic on red zone. Incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. Stop clock, stop clock, stop clock. Now, here's the thing. Houston had all 3 timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it wasn't – I disagree with the fact that they passed being the issue. It was the kind of passes they were throwing. Low percentage deep balls.
Yeah.
Like, what were they doing? If you're going to pass, at least, like, throw a screen in there or something like that. Because Houston did have the 3 timeouts anyway.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, what are you doing chucking it?
The timeout somehow did have gotten lost in this conversation and argument, and that's where McDermott deserves a little bit of a break because of that.
A little bit of a break.
A little bit. The one part, okay, what you said is one thing. The other thing that I'll kind of push back on is I would have run it on 1st or 2nd down because what did you just see the Texans do?
You got to run it on one of them.
You have to avoid the possibility of getting a hold in the end zone, a sack in the end zone, a safety ends this game.
100% agree. 100% agree. But for the people who are just, generally saying, oh, you can't pass at all, I disagree with that. You can pass.
I do. Me too.
Just not the way you were passing. And by the way, who knows if Josh Allen was loopy at this point? I have no idea. He crashed his head on the ground.
And the second pass sure looked that way.
So anyway, Houston gets the ball back at the Buffalo 46 with 7 seconds to go. They gain 5 yards on a dump-off to Ogunbowale. Fairbairn, 59-yarder. Good. Houston wins. 23-20. Stroud, 28 of 38 for 331. They outgained Buffalo. Houston did 425 to 276, despite being -2 in turnovers. Houston wins. They're at New England. Not much to say about this game. New England loses to Miami. New England was up 7-3 after a Ramondre Stevenson 33-yard touchdown run. Subsequent drive in the first half, Achane concussed. He never returned. That led to a Sanders 41-yard field goal try with doinked off the post. No good. Still 7-3. New England had a 3-and-out, but then Bryce Behringer had a 70-yard punt. Jake Bailey's punt for the Dolphins was blocked by Brendan Schooler. New England was set up at the Miami 23. They had to settle for a sly 33-yard field goal. That was wide right. Anyway, Miami then had another field goal to try to cut into the 7-3 lead later in the half. That was a botched snap that messed up the timing. So that didn't happen. It was 7-3 at the half. This game was awful. Anyway, got to 10-9. Miami had 2 field goals. New England had 1. And then Miami finally put it together. They're only down 1 point in the fourth quarter. 15 plays, 80 yards. Alec Ingold in from 3. Hey, we have a relative here at
we do
at VSiN, don't we? 15-10 Miami. 2-point try fails. New England got it to 4th and 15 at the Miami 17 after a false start with 1 minute left. It was 4th and 10 at the 12. A false start sets them back 5 yards. By the way, they thought they had a touchdown 2 plays earlier, Brissett to Jalen Polk, but it was properly reversed. And then incomplete on the 4th down. They have all 3 timeouts, so they did get the ball back at their own 43 with 29 seconds left. They got it to the Miami 36, but Brissett to Henry was only for 25 yards in the field to play. Clock expires. Miami wins 15-10. Houston at Miami. I said Houston by 6.
Houston
and New England. I mean, Houston by 6.
Yeah, it is 7 pretty much everywhere. 6.5 here at Circa. I'm actually a little
6.5 here at Circa, huh?
actually
Anything below 7 feels kind of tempting.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. But there are, it's injury stuff, right? You still got Mixon, Damian Pierce, Nico Collins. I'd like to know more about the injury information before betting this. But
Sure.
I bet the 6.5 is gone by that point.
I still like 1 hour into this. I still like San Francisco the best, I think, of all these.
In New England, I don't. How do we get an award for Jacoby Brissett? The Do Your Job Warrior Award. You're losing, and your team's terrible. You're going to be benched at some point. You're doing your job, though.
There's worse work in this world. Yeah.
There is.
We'll come back. More guessing lines right here on A Numbers Game.
A new football season means a new lineup on VSiN. Start your